Right, Arsenal fans, you know that when you're playing the game against Burnley, you saw your only fit forward get injured. And he goes by the names of Viktor Gyokeres. And him getting injured raised lots of questions to the Arsenal fans. And we're here to obviously give you that much awaited for injury update for Viktor Gyokeres. Smash like button, comment and share. If you're totally watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. Smash like button and let's see us hit the magic number of how many? Of 200 in there. So the Premier League is done, and I'm just getting prepared to do the Fantasy View Global video that I'm obviously going to be uploading in there, and then I'll share it in our community. But I know the hottest story right now is all about Viktor Gyokeres, that most of you are really asking, what is he all about? Now, the hugest concern was all about him being substituted, and after that game of football, the manager of Arsenal came up and obviously told us the truth about why this player was obviously taken off. And these are the words of Mikel Arteta. Arteta told us that, one, I think it was one of the best games that he's played. I think overall his performance was exceptional. A part of the first goal, we had to take him off because he was feeling a little ego masikila. So we will have to wait and see. Now, Arsenal are really experiencing another injury from Viktor Gyokeres. You understand? But the manager says it was a little ego. And I told you with effect from last season that ever since an Arsenal player known as Yurian Timber went ahead to obviously get down, and when he got down in the game of Nottingham Forest, I think that was the opening match of the league for the club of Arsenal, and he really got forced back on the field of play. 2 minutes later in the second half, he went down and he never played anymore. I think until towards the end of the season when he obviously came up. You understand? So the physio team went ahead to tell the players at Arsenal that, please, every time you feel like things are not really moving on well, just do one thing. Go ahead and get up and tell us that you are not feeling okay, and we'll take you off, such that we obviously do it as a precaution. And I think this was a precaution for a player known as Gyokeres, and they did it. They did it. They did it like that, and it really went ahead to really raise lots of questions. But I tell you what, it was really one of those moments that Arsenal really never got to understand until the manager of Arsenal came up and really told us about this. You understand? Because the player was not like limping or what, but he was like sending a message to them that I'm really not feeling okay, and I should be getting to the next I should be preparing for the next match. I've gone ahead to score a goal. Why should I obviously keep on? And that is really what we call experience of a player. He really understands the moment where he should force it a little bit more, and when he shouldn't force it when the club is really doing the needful into the mix. So that's all about a player known as Viktor Gyokeres. But his injury, how does it affect the sides of Arsenal? You understand? How does it affect the side of Arsenal? You understand? One, he's the only forward they really do have. And if he doesn't really pass the late fitness test for the club of Arsenal, then he won't really show up in the game of Sparta Prague and Sunderland. You understand? And Arsenal cannot rush back a player known as Gabriel Jesus or Kai Havertz because they need them to really heal fully, And I think he might obviously show up in that game of Sparta Prague when they're playing, was it on Tuesday or Wednesday, one of those days, because Saliba, after missing out on the game that they played in the midweek, the manager told us that he's really injured. And from nowhere, in the game when Arsenal was playing against Burnley, Saliba was into the starting 11 for the club of Arsenal. If you watched my match preview, I never even considered him. I went in for a player called Mosquera. So, the manager will obviously let us know of the update of Viktor Gyokeres. I think on Tuesday there will be a presser for this team known as Arsenal in there. But this comes in through at a time when Arsenal is really going to be playing against Sparta Praha and Sunderland. And for those matches, I really think that a player called, what's his name? A player called Mikel Merino can come up and obviously do the required assignments. Not so? I think he can, and he can really do it to the fullest in there. So we wait and see how things really pan out for Viktor Gyokeres. But what did the manager mean that it was his best game he has played for the club of Arsenal? I really understood what the manager really best on to obviously rate him that way, because that player did really well. I tell you, that player did really well. Do you know that he created, 2 big chances for Bukayo Saka? Things that Bukayo Saka has not done for the forward. That's why I told you earlier in the video I did that Gyokeres has understood to play with his players faster than those players of Arsenal have understood to obviously play with him. Because for him, he releases all the players. Even when Noni Madueke was there, his hold-up play was really great, and he used it to link up play for that guy. You understand? So, I want to let you know that that lad, known as Viktor Gyokeres, is really good. And I tell you what, he's really doing the due diligence to put in a very huge shift for everyone in there. And he just needs time, to heal. And I hope he's not rushed into this moment as other players have been rushed. And I think the physios have understood that when you rush a player, it affects his return in there for you and his delivery on the pitch and longevity from injury. So, from there, the manager of Arsenal had the following to say again about Viktor Gyokeres, the striker that they signed from Sporting Lisbon in there. Everything, his press, his position, and his touches, this threading behind, the way he linked play, the way he got us from the situation to transitions, moments, a lot. I think he was in a really good moment. It's a shame that he felt something. Obviously, when a player gets a game like that, he played against a team of Burnley, and he really walks off when he's feeling an ego, you won't be happy as the manager. You will worry too, because you'll need what the physios will tell you about him. But if you look at the second goal that Arsenal scores, you saw what this guy did, and it showed exactly how brilliant he is. I'm talking about Viktor Gyokeres. He got that ball from the half of Arsenal. It was a throw-in. Gabriel Magalhaes won the header. Then the header went to the vicinity of Saka. Saka headed that ball to Viktor Gyokeres, and Viktor Gyokeres marauded, in the right half space of the pitch, into the half of Burnley. And he went in for that opposite side ball, you understand? And it was not that over-the-top ball, but it was a ground ball. Trossard ran into the vicinity and found that ball and put in a cutback. Rice headed that ball in the back of the net, meaning that Gyokeres went ahead to obviously put in that secondary assist too. And if I was to name the man of the match for me, I would give it to this man known as Viktor Gyokeres. I tell you, he really did a very wonderful job in that particular fixture, and I know everyone needs this guy back, because he looked like this was a match where he obviously got unlocked. And we wait and see whether he'll train with the Champions League squad that will play against Sparta Praha next week. And the good thing is that for the Champions League, the players that are obviously going to be traveling with the club of Arsenal will train at the Sobuha Reality Training Center. You understand? After training there, they'll travel to Sparta Praha. And that's when we'll be knowing how things will obviously pan out. But on Tuesday, Arsenal is playing at 20:45, meaning that Monday, tomorrow they will train, And we'll be having a presser. I think the manager will hold it in Slavia Praha in there for you. So that's what I had for you. Huge story for Viktor Gyokeres, as many of you were asking this. And I'm also going to be coming back with the story of Zubimendi, whether he's okay or not okay.